The water fuel cell. In the early 1990s, inventor Stanley Meyer claimed to have built a system that allowed a car engine to run on water by splitting it into hydrogen and oxygen and burning the hydrogen as fuel. Under normal conditions, this process requires more electrical energy than it produces, making it impractical. Meyer argued that his system avoided this limitation by using high-voltage, low-current electrical pulses tuned to specific frequencies. According to him, these pulses weakened the bond between hydrogen and oxygen, reducing the energy required to separate them, a claim that directly contradicted established thermodynamics. He patented the design and publicly demonstrated a modified vehicle that appeared to run while carrying only water. However, no independent testing ever confirmed that the system produced excess energy or violated known physical laws. After Meyer's death in 1998, the prototypes disappeared, the patents expired, and later attempts to recreate the system failed due to missing or incomplete technical details. The invention was never successfully reproduced. The vacuum energy engine. In 1983, engineer Troy Hrubis claimed to have built a small engine that ran indefinitely using vacuum energy, a form of energy theorized to exist in empty space. The device, roughly the size of a shoebox, used magnets, copper coils, and titanium plates to generate a self-sustaining rotation. Hrubis said the engine worked by creating a vacuum inversion chamber where opposing magnetic fields produced a continuous pressure differential, allowing the flywheel to spin without external fuel or electricity. Witnesses reported the engine powered itself and could drive small mechanical systems. Shortly after public demonstrations, his workshop burned down in an unexplained electrical fire, destroying the engine. No independent tests were conducted, and subsequent attempts to rebuild it failed due to missing schematics and interference. The engine's disappearance left only witness accounts and Hrubis's patents, making it an unresolved example of a claimed free energy device. The eternal battery. In 1973, engineer Carl Kordesh developed a prototype battery capable of running continuously for decades without needing replacement or recharge. It combined elements of alkaline chemistry with a closed-loop hydrogen system, allowing the battery to regenerate itself during operation. The design was lightweight, efficient, and resistant to extreme temperatures. Unlike conventional batteries, it required minimal maintenance and avoided the environmental impact of frequent replacement. Tests suggested it could power devices for up to 50 years. Despite its potential, Kordesh's invention was shelved. Corporations and regulators expressed concern that a battery lasting longer than consumer products would disrupt planned obsolescence and reduce profits. Prototypes were stored, patents stalled, and no large-scale production ever occurred. The eternal light bulb. In 1901, a light bulb, known today as the Centennial bulb, was installed in a fire station in Livermore, California, and it has been glowing ever since. Unlike modern bulbs, it uses a carbon filament and produces low-intensity light, which greatly reduces wear on the filament. Early bulbs were built with thicker filaments, hand-blown glass, and conservative power levels, allowing them to last for decades. These bulbs prove that long-lasting lighting was possible even with early manufacturing techniques. By 1924, major light bulb manufacturers formed the Phoebus cartel, agreeing to standardize bulb lifespans to around 1,000 hours by deliberately altering filament design and operating conditions. This marked one of the earliest examples of planned obsolescence in consumer electronics. While the Centennial bulb continues to function today, most modern bulbs are designed to fail sooner, ensuring repeat sales and constant replacement cycles.
The Eastern Air Cleaner. In the early 1990s, engineers in Eastern Europe developed a prototype air purification system called the Eastern Air Cleaner. It was designed to remove not only dust and smoke, but also toxic chemicals, industrial pollutants, and airborne pathogens from enclosed spaces, potentially revolutionizing indoor air quality and public health. The device combined electrostatic fields with cold plasma technology. Rather than trapping particles in filters, it altered their electrical charge and broke down their molecular structure, preventing secondary emissions. This allowed the system to operate continuously with minimal power without the need for costly filter replacements, and silently enough for everyday use in homes, schools, and hospitals. Independent tests reportedly showed rapid removal of substances like benzene, formaldehyde, and fine particulate matter. Early demonstrations impressed environmental agencies and private organizations alike, but despite the promise, development stopped abruptly. The project was ultimately shut down due to regulatory and patent complications, and key technical details were never released. No working prototype remains publicly available, and attempts to reproduce the system have failed due to missing schematics and incomplete designs. The Eastern Air Cleaner remains a tantalizing what could have been in environmental technology, a reminder of how breakthroughs can vanish before reaching the public. The magnetic motor. In the late 1970s, physicist Howard Johnson patented a magnetic motor that he claimed could spin indefinitely using only permanent magnets. The motor relied on precise arrangements of curved magnets on a rotor and stator, creating continuous rotational force without fuel, electricity, or combustion. Johnson demonstrated the motor privately to investors, journalists, and scientists. While some reported that it seemed to sustain motion, replication attempts by independent engineers failed. Observed issues included spontaneous demagnetization, unpredictable rotation, and system instability, making it nearly impossible to confirm outside his controlled demonstrations. Many scientists dismissed it, yet some enthusiasts continue to study his designs. Despite holding a patent, Johnson faced intense pressure. Offers were reportedly made to buy and bury his design, which he refused. By the late 1980s, he was out of funding, and the motor was never produced commercially. Today, it exists mostly in patent archives, technical papers, and whispered accounts, leaving behind a story of innovation stifled by circumstances beyond science, with endless speculation about whether it could have provided a clean, self-sustaining energy source. The trash fuel converter. In 2003, engineers in Sao Paulo, Brazil, developed a prototype that converted household trash into high-quality liquid fuel. The system used thermal depolymerization combined with proprietary catalysts under high pressure, breaking down organic and synthetic material at the molecular level. Tests reportedly showed the device could convert plastics, food waste, old shoes, and other refuse into clean, usable fuel with over 80% efficiency. It could power generators for extended periods without producing toxic emissions, promising a revolutionary solution to both energy scarcity and urban waste management, a technology that could have reduced landfill size and dependence on fossil fuels. However, just 2 months after media coverage, the facility was raided, permits were revoked, prototypes were confiscated, and the engineers behind the project dispersed. No public explanation was given, and subsequent attempts to reproduce the technology failed due to lost schematics and regulatory barriers. The trash fuel converter remains one of the most tantalizing examples of a working energy solution quietly erased before it could reach the world.
The electric car recall. In 1996, General Motors released the EV1, the first mass-produced electric car available to the public. It ran entirely on electricity, produced zero emissions, and included features like regenerative braking and aerodynamic design, reaching around 100 miles per charge. The EV1 was leased, not sold, so customers could not legally own it. Despite this, demand was strong, with drivers reporting high reliability, low maintenance, and smooth performance. In the early 2000s, GM abruptly ended the program. All leased vehicles were recalled, even from those willing to buy them. Most EV1s were destroyed. GM cited cost, battery limitations, and low demand, but documents later revealed that automakers lobbied to weaken emissions regulations, removing the legal pressure to continue electric vehicle production. The EV1 remains a symbol of a suppressed technology. The Tesla Power Tower. In 1901, Nikola Tesla began building the Wardenclyffe Tower to transmit electricity wirelessly using the Earth as a conductor. The system relied on high-voltage oscillations and resonance, allowing energy to travel through the ground and atmosphere instead of wires. The tower had deep grounding rods, massive coils, and a metal dome to amplify vibrations. Tesla believed that properly tuned receivers anywhere could draw power without a direct connection to a power plant. Funding from J.P. Morgan was withdrawn when Tesla revealed the system could deliver free electricity globally. Construction stopped, and by 1917, the tower was demolished. Many of Tesla's notes were lost, and no working version has ever been tested publicly. The Illness Prediction Scanner. In 2009, engineers in Geneva developed the neuroscope, capable of scanning a person's electromagnetic field to detect diseases before symptoms appeared. It analyzed biofrequency patterns against a database of disease markers. Early trials reportedly identified cancers, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and chronic illnesses weeks or months before conventional tests. The system required no blood tests, X-rays, or MRIs. Despite interest from hospitals and the WHO, the project was shut down. Licenses were suspended, servers seized, and manufacturing canceled. Independent replication failed due to missing components. The neuroscope remains a potentially revolutionary device never brought to market. The rain-making machine. In the 1950s, Dr. Irving Langmore and military researchers experimented with cloud seeding, dispersing silver iodide into clouds to trigger rain. Early tests worked, but neighboring regions sometimes experienced droughts, floods, or legal disputes over water rights. Farmers could benefit, yet others suffered unexpected consequences. Civilian access was restricted, while large-scale weather modification continued under military research. Over time, secrecy shrouded many projects, and today, weather control exists mostly in classified programs. If widely available, it could have transformed agriculture, water management, and even geopolitical power, giving nations the ability to influence crops, rivers, and even military operations. The anti-gravity research programs. From the 1950s to 1970s, aerospace companies explored electrogravitics, attempting propulsion that reduced mass using high-voltage fields, a phenomenon known as the Biefeld-Brown effect. Some early experiments produced unexplained lift and suggested the possibility of revolutionary aircraft. Civilian research stalled, while classified military projects quietly continued. Documentation was limited, patents vanished, and replication proved nearly impossible without specialized equipment. Whether true anti-gravity was ever achieved remains uncertain, but the research vanished from open science, leaving only tantalizing clues, sparse testimony, and decades of speculation about how it might have changed flight, space exploration, or even military technology.